Early one morning in a quiet Japanese neighborhood, a woman in her 50s walks to a small market before work. She remembers 3 items without checking her phone. She estimates the total while waiting. Outside, she greets the shopkeeper and asks about his mother. Nothing about this morning looks like brain training. Yet before breakfast, her mind has already remembered, calculated, navigated, noticed, and responded to another person. Now picture another morning. A woman completes a 5-minute memory game on her phone. The colorful score tells her she has done something good for her brain. After that, the phone remembers every appointment. It calculates every number, chooses every route, and stores every shopping list. It also fills nearly every quiet moment with something to watch. The difference is not that one woman uses technology and the other does not. The difference is what the rest of the day asks their minds to do. Many women begin thinking about memory somewhere around middle age. A familiar name takes longer to appear. You enter a room and briefly forget why. You reread a sentence because your attention wandered. These moments are often harmless. Still, a quiet question can begin to form. Is my mind changing? This is often when people search for memory supplements, special puzzles, or an app promising to keep the mind young. There is nothing wrong with enjoying a puzzle, but some of the most useful mental activity may already be hiding inside ordinary life. That is why these 8 Japanese habits are worth noticing. They are not miracle methods, and they cannot guarantee that anyone will avoid memory problems. They keep attention, movement, relationships, and the senses involved in daily life. One habit may surprise you most. It asks us to keep doing something that modern life is quietly trying to remove. Habit 1. Keep one reason to be needed. In Japan, the word ikigai, pronounced ikigai, is often translated as a reason for living. But it does not need to mean a grand mission, a perfect career, or a dream that changes the world. It may mean preparing breakfast, caring for balcony herbs, or helping with a grandchild's routine. It could also mean opening a small shop or calling a sister who lives alone. The task may look small from the outside. What matters is that it gives someone a reason to notice, plan, remember, and respond. There is also a difference between being busy and being needed. A meaningful responsibility asks us to care about what happens next. A long-running study has found an association between purpose in life and healthier cognitive aging. That does not mean purpose works like medicine or prevents every kind of decline. It may help people remain involved with decisions, relationships, movement, and the world around them. So do not ask whether your responsibility looks impressive enough. Ask a quieter question. What is one small part of tomorrow that would be different if I did not show up? That answer may matter more than an empty day designed only for comfort. Habit 2. Let your mind try before reaching for the phone. Imagine standing in a small market with 3 items in your basket. Before the total appears, could you estimate the cost? When a friend says she will arrive in 35 minutes, can you work out the approximate time first? When a recipe needs half a measurement, can you pause and find the answer before opening a calculator? These are not difficult mathematics problems. The habit is simply to let the mind try before a device completes the thought. During a small calculation, the brain must hold information, compare quantities, ignore distractions, and move through several steps. Even 5 seconds can contain real attention. Structured arithmetic and reading exercises have improved certain cognitive abilities in some studies. That does not prove that estimating a shopping bill will prevent dementia. The useful lesson is smaller and more realistic. You are preserving brief moments when your mind must actively participate. Try the calculation first, then check it. Try to remember the appointment before opening the calendar, then confirm it. Try to recall the name before searching your messages. The goal is not to reject technology. It is to stop technology from answering every question before your mind receives a chance to respond. Habit 3. Walk through the world instead of only passing through it. In many Japanese neighborhoods, ordinary errands still involve walking. Someone leaves home to buy tofu, vegetables, medicine, or a small household item. The walk may take only 10 minutes, but it contains many small decisions. She notices the temperature, avoids a bicycle, recognizes a storefront, and chooses where to cross. She remembers what to buy and changes direction when a familiar street becomes crowded. This is not only transportation, it is movement combined with attention. Regular physical activity supports healthy aging and is associated with better sleep, cardiovascular health, mood, and brain health. It does not need to be intense to matter. The right amount depends on a person's health and mobility. Walking also asks us to understand where we are. Spatial navigation uses memory systems that can become more vulnerable with age, but we should not exaggerate what one changed route can do. Taking a different street has not been proven to prevent memory loss. The practical lesson is simpler. Do not allow every journey to become completely passive. On a safe errand, look ahead before immediately opening a map. Notice a landmark. Remember where you turned. Occasionally choose a different route when time, weather, and safety allow it. Most importantly, do not judge the walk only by the step count on a screen. Its value may also lie in everything you saw, chose, remembered, and adjusted along the way. Habit 4. Do not retire from every form of responsibility. There is a beautiful image of retirement. No alarm, no obligations, no difficult decisions, no one waiting for an answer. For a while, that freedom may feel wonderful, yet a completely empty calendar can eventually feel different. After years of solving problems and remembering schedules, silence may begin to feel less like freedom. It can feel like part of your experience is no longer being used. This does not mean people must remain in stressful jobs forever. Retirement does not automatically cause dementia, and research on retirement and cognition remains complicated. Leaving a career, however, does not require leaving every role in which your experience matters. A retired teacher might help a child read once a week. A former office worker may manage the accounts for a small club. Someone who cared for a family may teach a younger relative how to cook a traditional dish. Another person may volunteer, tend a community garden, or work a few hours each week. The role can become lighter, and the hours can become shorter. But the role does not have to disappear completely. A meaningful responsibility asks questions that passive entertainment never asks. Who is depending on me? What needs to happen first? What did we decide last time? What should I change today? Those small decisions keep experience in motion instead of placing it quietly on a shelf. Habit 5. Protect small face-to-face conversations. You do not need a large circle of friends to remain socially connected. Sometimes connection is only a 2-minute conversation with a shopkeeper. It may be a greeting while watering plants or a few words with someone waiting at a clinic. These moments can seem too ordinary to count, but a real conversation asks the mind to do many things at once. You listen to a voice, you interpret expression and tone. You remember what the person said before. You choose words quickly. You notice whether a joke was serious. You adjust when the response is unexpected. A screen waits patiently while we think. A real person does not. Studies have linked loneliness and social isolation with a higher risk of cognitive problems. However, loneliness is complicated and cannot be solved by simply telling someone to socialize more. Research involving older Japanese adults has also found useful associations. People who sustained social, hobby, or sports participation were more likely to remain free from dementia during follow-up. These findings do not guarantee protection. They do support the value of staying connected to real communities. This does not require forcing yourself into crowded rooms if you prefer quiet. It may mean protecting one relationship from becoming only text messages. It could mean speaking at the counter, joining a small class, or calling someone you miss. A meaningful conversation does not have to be deep. It only has to be real. Habit 6. Keep one small task deliberately manual. This may be the least modern habit on the list. Keep one ordinary task slightly slower than it needs to be. Wash rice by hand and notice the water becoming cloudy. Mend a loose button instead of immediately replacing the shirt. Write a short note with a pen. Prepare tea without letting a machine make every decision. You could arrange flowers, peel vegetables, or measure ingredients. Convenience has made life safer and easier for millions of people. Someone with pain, disability, exhaustion, or limited time should never feel guilty for using help. Still, an ordinary day changes when every small physical action disappears. A manual task often contains a sequence. First this, then that. It uses touch, pressure, timing, coordination, memory, and judgment. We do not have strong evidence that washing rice or sewing a button prevents cognitive decline. That claim would go beyond the research. But these activities can turn a passive moment into one that requires attention. Choose only one task. Choose it because there is satisfaction in allowing your hands and mind to finish something together. The best manual task may simply be the one you enjoy enough to continue. Habit 7. Stay slightly bad at something new. By middle age, many of us naturally return to what we already know. We cook dishes we can prepare without thinking. We listen to familiar music. We choose hobbies in which we already feel competent. This is comfortable, and comfort is not the enemy, but familiar activities usually ask less of the mind. Learning something new creates another kind of experience. You might try Japanese calligraphy, a musical instrument, photography, a language, dance, pottery, or a difficult sewing pattern. Every new skill creates moments when the next step is not automatic. You make a mistake, you notice it, you try again. You compare the new attempt with the old one. Then one day, something that seemed impossible becomes slightly easier. Research with older adults has found benefits from sustained learning of demanding new skills. In one study, photography and quilting improved certain memory measures more than activities based mainly on familiar knowledge. This does not mean one hobby can guarantee protection from dementia. It suggests that genuine new learning may matter. The most valuable hobby may therefore be the one you are still slightly embarrassed to be bad at. frustration is not always a reason to stop. Sometimes it is evidence that your mind is no longer operating on autopilot. Habit 8. Protect the brain by protecting the life around it. The final habit is less exciting than a secret memory exercise, but it may matter more than all the clever tricks combined. Protect the conditions in which the mind must live. Keep a reasonably regular sleeping rhythm. Move your body. Pay attention to blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, hearing, and vision. Seek help for persistent depression. Avoid smoking. Stay connected to people. Do not ignore changes because you are busy caring for everyone else. The brain is not separate from the rest of the body. It depends on blood flow, sleep, movement, sensory information, emotional health, and participation in the world. The 2024 Lancet Commission identified 14 potentially modifiable factors associated with dementia risk across life. These include physical inactivity, social isolation, hearing loss, and untreated vision loss. They also include high blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, depression, obesity, high LDL cholesterol, and excessive alcohol use. Addressing these factors may reduce or delay many dementia cases at a population level. No individual habit offers certainty. This point matters especially for women in midlife. Many women become experts at noticing changes in everyone else. They remember appointments for parents, children, partners, and colleagues. They monitor meals, moods, birthdays, bills, and household needs. Meanwhile, their own hearing test is delayed. Their sleep becomes optional. Their blood pressure can wait. Their exhaustion is treated as a normal part of being responsible. Caring for your mind may begin by allowing your own health to become a real responsibility, not after everyone else is fine. Now, what these 8 habits share: a reason to be needed, a moment of calculation before reaching for a phone, a walk that requires attention, a responsibility that keeps experience useful, a real conversation, a task completed by hand, a new skill that still feels difficult, a life that protects sleep, movement, hearing, vision, and health. These habits look different, but they share one simple quality. They keep us participating. Imagine that woman returning from the market. She remembers what she bought. She notices a neighbor. She changes her plan because rain is beginning. She uses her hands to prepare lunch and later practices a skill she has not yet mastered. No single moment looks powerful. Together, however, they create a day that continues to ask something of her mind. This is not an argument against technology, rest, comfort, delivery services, calculators, or memory games. All of them can be useful. The goal is balance. A brain training app may challenge the mind for a few minutes. The rest of the day should not become completely passive. So tomorrow, do not attempt all 8 habits. Choose one. Estimate a total before checking the answer. Call someone instead of sending another message. Take out a pen, begin a new skill, or make the health appointment you have postponed. Choose the habit that feels slightly inconvenient, but still realistic. Then notice what happens. You may not feel different immediately. Most meaningful changes do not announce themselves after one morning. Personally, I am cautious whenever one simple habit is presented as the secret to a younger brain. Life rarely works that neatly. The harder and more honest choice is to build a day that keeps asking us to participate. Which of these 8 habits already exists in your daily life? And which one have you slowly allowed convenience to take away? Tell us in the comments. Your answer may remind another woman that caring for her mind does not always require adding something new. Sometimes it begins by returning to one small part of life she once did for herself.